Trading involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. Good morning, everybody. New week. Oh, I got some of my charts I gotta fix here, but we'll do that in a second. We're a little bit higher today from where we ended up last week. I mean, man, it was just selling all over the place. The thing that was really interesting on Friday was that we had a big move up and it came back completely. So now the E-mini is looking pretty okay too. So they're both up, which is kind of bizarre. But, you know, it is the beginning of the week. And for news here, we've got nothing too big today. Construction spending at 8 o'clock my time. Then tomorrow, got a Fed speaker, final services PMI. Wednesday, ADP non-farm employment change is on Wednesday. That's weird. Revised numbers, blah, 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 blah. And then we get the non-farm number on Friday. All right. Well, we need to pull up our squawk here. There we go. Portal. Brexit Attorney General Cox has dismissed earlier Daily Telegraph story. I'm gonna open up Chrome here too. Good morning. Let's grab the links, shall we? Oh my gosh, so many messages this morning. All right. Who is that? Oh, Ilja. I don't remember who that is, but we gave him a vendor. Anyways, the links. Focus, Seth. Focus. Already having issues this morning, aren't we? Are bonds always this busy? Well, no. There's always volume in them. Okay, so there's the open. They go up a few ticks. Interesting. Blah, blah, blah. Now, that was a fast move up on the open. Very interesting, but it's down tick, so they're stopping it. Reload historical data. I don't see anything coming over. Bank of Italy government gold reserves belong to the central bank and cannot be used for Treasuries monetary financing. That could get a little crazy. Turkey antitrust board starts probe again against 23 supermarkets. Good morning, Adri. Adri math, is that? Good morning. Don't need that. Need to, there we go. So I changed my microphone settings up a little bit. So you know, if you have any problems, let me know. should sound a little bit nicer and more gentle, but we'll see when the birds wake up how well it handles that situation. Okay. I think I got everything set here. I need to, oh, yes, that. I can't actually, like, look at everything all at the same time. It's kind of annoying. Well, I can do that. All right. Oh, and I need to do that too. So I can hear. Not that I think anything super crazy is going to be happening this morning. Oh yeah, we should change that so we're only seeing today. All right. Restream still not showing me. Yeah. Like here in Restream, I have Restream connected correctly, I believe, but it's not showing me the messages from Twitch. We come up and we're staying there. And maybe we've come back a little bit. It's really hard for me to judge here if we're going to continue to move up or not. I do see that this move up was correlated with a little bit of movement in currencies. Yeah. Matches in the euro and in the bond and in the British pound and in the Japanese yen. So as long as this is moving along with currencies, you could get pretty decent swings. But it's really hard for me to determine if it's going to go up there to that high or not. I mean, I think that they will move up there, but I'm just not positive. Just my charts. Well, there was some stops right there at 22.5. Wow. 5K there at 23. And they're really moving it. I think given how much has gone there at 22.8, or sorry, at 23, could probably get a little bit more. Sorry about all the typing this morning. Oh, wow. Yeah. I'm just hearing some news over the squawk that some Japanese companies are considering leaving the UK over the whole Brexit situation. Okay, well, they ticked down there at 23. What do we got here? I mean, it's staying bid there. I really think that they could go There you go. There's a tick. So where are some spots that we need to be paying attention to? I think that this 26 here might be important. Oh, did Donald Trump tweet something I missed? What did he tweet today? Oh, I don't see it. Need to just add him back on here. Add column user. Freaking Twitter. Oh, no, I don't see him that he posted anything recent. Must have misunderstood there. Could be, trade deal news. There was trade deal news overnight here. Yeah, you notice that 24 is pulling away when they tick up? You might get a good level break here, actually. And they hit the 23 half and absorbed it even. My back is still not doing very well this week, guys. Sorry, I'm all fidgety and making all sorts of weird noise and crap. Huge week for numbers globally. Australia, ECB, Canadian dollar. Well, we do get the US data here today, on Friday. This week, rather. And, oh, there's a no date. I want that. I want it. I mean, there's people hitting into 24. They absorbed at 23 half. They're holding a big bid. And everything looks fairly, let's reset the DOM. Everything looks fairly well lined up. I think that we could get some more trend. And some oil news I'm hearing right now. Well, they're not exactly going at 24. Yet. At least not yet. Yeah, OPEC unlikely to make any output policy decision at April meeting, more likely to do so in June, says 3 OPEC sources. The fuck is ZF? I watched the video. He was this OST algos is saying that he saw my video about which product to trade, and he paused it on the redhead for a little while. It was it was hilarious, dude. I'm glad people are finding it. Oh, okay. So he just found it. Are they going to hit into 23? I mean, that 950 at 23, that's not necessarily confidence inspiring. I'm an intraday swing trader. Enter on the one range, and I will literally walk it to the month. Interesting. Okay, so the 5-year decided to try and take it down, and the 10-year bought it with an iceberg. Well, and there was one in the 5-year too. But it really felt like it was the 5-year was the one that decided that they were going to go for it. Nobody is trading into 11 quarter though. Not much success on that attempt to push it back up. Okay, that time a lot more liquidity placed. The 6J did come back there a bit. Hmm. Interesting. So on this, where was it? Well, they're still not holding it 23. I'm terrible at picking entries, exits. That's why I trade spreads and just average in most of the time. US didn't even make top 25 in new global wellness ranking. Yeah, some of those countries that are above us, I'm not so sure I would want to live. But I'm an American, so that probably makes a big difference on it, huh? Good morning, Uzi. It bothers me so much that I don't see both everything in one chat window. Oh, there's a lot have hit into 22.5 there. Let's see what this guy says about the Japanese yen chart with his analysis, because our kind of tools don't really help us so much in the forex space. It can move almost anywhere that it wants, regardless of what positions people have, unfortunately. Because something much bigger than the futures is in charge in that market. Those banks, they can do whatever they want. I'm looking to get into order flow. Do you think I should buy Bookmap or a Jigsaw? Well, that's an interesting question, and I've had people in our chat room who've done both and have had success with both. I think that Bookmap has a slightly better chart, like Bookmap versus the Vista chart. book map is a little bit better, especially if you're trading like the E-mini. But the Jigsaw Dom is just the best. So if you really are more interested in the Dom, like me, then I would go for Jigsaw. And I guess the other advantage to Jigsaw is that the developer is just very innovative and makes a really good product, really solid product. So yeah, so I'm using Jigsaw, of course, because I mainly watch the Dom. A decent amount going into 22.5. So it does, I don't know if they're going to be able to break 22, but it does look like they've established a range here. And we're kind of towards the bottom of the range, but clearly not at the very bottom of the range, which means that we're slightly wrong. But I don't know if I want to just get out of 22.5, because you might not. If I get out there and I still want to go long, I would want to do it there, and I can't do that. So, I might do this though. Let's see if we can position ourselves better. Eyeing the 112 level. I mean, on 6J, it looks like just a pullback. Oh, there we go. Thank you. I think I'll get started with book map and branch out into Jigsaw later. I mean, if you can afford all that, that's like, oof. That German Bund and BTP looks short. I wish I could see that. Okay, but that's important to note for sure. It kind of seems to me like, well, no, that's interesting that they're going. Just the guy over the squawk talking about some corporate bond issuances. So that's interesting. Anyways, it's interesting that they're holding that offer there 22.5. They weren't just taking it. Good morning, Lucas. Okay, so it did tick back up. Not the strongest bid, but about what you would expect. Let's see what we get. Excuse me. That break surely was short live. I guess makes sense being Monday. Yeah, well, I think that it's going to be slow because it's Monday for sure, right? But we had a really strong buying impulse on the open. So I think it would be unusual to have a strong impulse on the open, and then it just completely die down for the rest of the session. But like sometimes they just need time to like rebalance and make another push. I probably shouldn't be going for like trend day stuff though, right? But I could have gotten filled at 22.5. That alone is concerning to me. And like Swiss was saying, I think what Swiss pointed out to us that they're maybe going short in the euro, sorry, the bund rather, I think is a little concerning to me too, because if it's foreign currencies that are the thing that are driving us, gotta be careful about that. I think buyers saw that 9K offer at 24 and didn't bother to go for it. Yeah. Well, I felt like oh, hold on. Yeah. Okay, so he is saying that CTAs, what does that mean? Who are CTAs? Futures CTA. What does that mean? Commodity Trading Advisor is a U.S. financial regulatory term for an individual or organization who is retained by a fund or individual client to provide advice and services related to trading in futures contracts. I see. So what the guy on the Squawk just said is that according to some analysts, and I don't know who those analysts that he was referring to were, but he said according to some analysts that the CTAs are continuing to go long from the overnight action, and that the dealers and hedge funds have been fighting it and going short. So that is curious and good information to know. And that does kind of explain two-way trade here, for sure. Mm-hmm. So CTAs I would assume that means primarily speculators at that point, right? So that's interesting, but I think that that kind of tells me some of this kind of the same thing. Yeah. So going back to what Lucas was saying is like I think buyers saw that 9K offer at 24 and didn't bother to go for it, and I lost my long buys when they began trading 22 half, and now I am in waiting mode. Yeah. So I felt like when they came up there, they had a setup like they absorbed a decent amount at 23 half, and they were holding up a pretty strong bid. But the 5 year just wasn't having it, and the 5 year they just decided to tick down and stop. So I think that that does kind of fit in with this feeling that like they could have taken it and they just didn't do it, you know? Ugh. Okay. I'm hearing over the newswire that Putin has signed an order that basically ends Russia's participation in the nuclear treaty with the United States. Hmm. David Rosenberg, Fed took the Fed's rate to funds rate to 2.5%. Economy can't handle it, even with tax cuts. China tried to slow down the debt treadmill. Economy can't handle it. All ECB did was stop quantitative easing, and its economy can't handle it. What a bullish global backdrop. Yeah, it's not and not confidence inspiring. But are equities going to go short on the open? I mean, that would be kind of the thing, right? Yeah. The open was so nice and now boring. Yeah. Yeah, look at that though. Yeah. And look at the ZB there. That's interesting. And the E-mini is moving up. Damn it. All right, fine. Fine. Yeah. I should have given up on that a lot earlier. Like, I should have only let that, given that I was buying it like towards the high and expecting a continuation. I think I should have only let that one go for like 10 minutes. You know what I mean? And I paid for it. So, well, this morning move might almost completely retrace. Hmm. Close for a quick one ticker when I saw the buyer struggling. Yeah, when I saw it at the open, I was a little bit more, like they came up to that one spot and then he said, well, I think that they could go for a new high, and they did, but I wasn't sure. And then after that, it looked good, but it took too long. It never took. I think that's a mistake that I make a lot. Is like I see the continuation, I take it, and then it's like 30 minutes later and it doesn't continue it, and I'm still holding on to it. Where when I see that kind of a continuation signal like that, should don't immediately drive it further. Yeah, I'm streaming. Okay, interesting. So there's a relatively big order there at 22. They just like plowed right over. Curious. Philip Morris cuts year forecast. Cuts EPS guidance to USD 5.28 from USD 5.37. Cites Quebec health class actions. I see. Equities news. 40 billion of corporate issuance expected this week, and between 110 to 130 billion through March. Wow, that's a lot. Lots of money. You notice I'm getting this thing again where it's like, Seth has to get out because it's like it's really looking ugly, and then that's like right where they flip. Okay. But you can see now they did take it, they did film me, and they didn't stick like a strong offer on it. So they're still kind of indicating relative disinterest, I guess, right? Like they still just want to range around. Or that at least this 22 price is fair, but that you could still maybe get back up to 23 half, and then pivot back down again. And on the downside, well, now that's interesting though, because it would be 21. 21 was that last pivot. They did trade into 21 half. So one tick higher. Okay, it's trying. It's trying to buy it up there, and they're getting smacked. Okay. And it flips. I'm going to add another one. That makes me a little bit more confident in that particular price. Got a decent, pretty decent audience for a Monday. Thank you guys for watching. 18 people watching. It's a little bit more than normal, especially for a Monday, because usually Mondays are a little bit slower, right? Usually not as many people watching or trading on Mondays. Wondering, you know what? I need to fix this over here. There we go. Pete needs to fix that. Need to figure out what the deal is with that. But ZB came back pretty strongly there, actually. So I put that order in at 22. Excuse me. Ugh. My stomach is being kind of weird this morning. Um, I'm still at the back of the queue, you know? I think there's a good chance that they sell into 22 and then I still don't get filled. But they could easily make it tick up at 22.5 and they don't care. They don't care. Greenpeace co-founder rips pompous little twit Ocasio-Cortez as a garden variety hypocrite on climate. That's funny. It seems to me that a lot of people in the Democrat Party are unhappy with her right now. That the whole thing with the Green New Deal, like we just think of it from the perspective of like it's a silly policy and we're all just talking about the policy considerations of it and everything else like that. But Democrat Party insiders, what they're going to be thinking is that she wasn't supposed to bring that to the front, and now that she has, the conversation has been dominated by nothing but that, and so the Democrats aren't able to get on to the messages that they want to do, right? So remember that Nancy Pelosi had this whole slate of things, and one of the first things, the thing that they want to focus on is government corruption, right? Campaign finance, those sorts of things. And they're not talking about them right now. Instead, they are that conversation. Well, okay, so there's a decent amount being bought at 22 on the limit, but it does go off her. $110. Kind of just going along with what the 5 year is doing there. Anyways. Yeah, I don't know if it's like terribly damaging to the Democrats right now because, you know, it's awfully far away from the election. But if she continues to be doing these sorts of things close to the election, it could be a very big problem for the Democrat Party. And you watch, because here's the thing. That's New York, right? That's Democrat territory. So if she pisses people off too much, they will totally find somebody to primary her and get her out. It could totally happen. I wouldn't be surprised if they've already picked someone. Would not be surprised. DJ, significant layoffs at Warner Media are expected as part of reorganization. Sources. I don't say what those sources are, but... I guess something I should point out here is that there's been a lot of volume going along. We are at new highs in cumulative delta, but we're quite a bit off from the high. So that people are buying it down here at 22, though, I think that's pretty significant, right? They've pushed price down very much against the market orders, and the buyers still want more. Well, 6,000 there at 22 at least, right? Uptick, 5-year. 5-year not holding like a ton there, but seems like that 5-year has to tick up for anything to happen. Good morning. Good morning, Ace. All right. We can get a flip here now at 22 half. See, they're playing that game. Oh, we can't add more than 22 half has. That would be bad. That would be not allowed. Somewhat when we were ticking down, some of that kind of seemed correlated slightly to the E-mini. But now I'm seeing the E-mini going short. Well, and sure enough, Ace says, let's see if we can pick a few points short at 28.1575. Which is exactly where I was looking at. Interesting. And there's some pretty decent number of contracts being absorbed there as well. Okay, but they did take it off again at 22. Oh, that felt better. I need to do something about my back, guys. So a decent amount is bought at 22, and they're still holding a reasonably strong offer. So things have definitely kind of turned there, haven't they? I should watch ZB here a little bit more closely. What clues might it give us? Well, it ticked up, and they're holding 400 on the bid. E-mini not exactly moving down quite yet. Oh, good morning, Arthur. I'm just going to say Arthur. Tagging off. Where are you from, Arthur? We've got a couple of guys come into our Discord room from the Ukraine and Russia. And that sounds like a Russian name. Anov. That's a Russian name, right? Pretty good traders, too. Lots of people watching, by the way. Good morning, everybody. It's been 12 minutes now. I think the E-mini is going to move down, and that's going to push us up a little bit. And it just seems to me that the dealers have taken too much short. that 6J, man, whatever's driving that can come in at any time and push us right back up. It would be pretty crazy. And where we're at here is still like a higher low. After all that, it's still a higher low. I think that we can get a move up here. So, it has the support to be able to do it. I suppose that it's going to be a little bit of chance as to whether or not it does. Don't sit so much, get up and stretch every 20 minutes. Well, I need to see I have an appointment with a better chiropractor, but yeah, sitting puts pressure on your discs and then causes your muscles to tense to stabilize the spine. Yeah, I think that I'm flexing my spine like this, like that's what makes it pop and feel better. But then I'm putting pressure on the discs, like bulging them out. And I think that that's what's happening. And I'm concerned that if I continue with this, I'm going to get like a bulging disc or something. So I do have a standing desk, but like standing is harder. If I sit for a while, I get up and I feel fine. Feels rested, better. But if I stand for a while, like it gets all out of alignment. It gets jacked up. At least use a ball to sit on. Well, I have a standing desk at work, so I'll definitely make sure that I do the standing desk bit a little bit today. So the ZB looks a little bullish to me. Like they're holding that 30 pretty well. But the equities are not moving yet, are they? Trade deal. Alligator saying, a trade deal would trigger big risk on. Personally, I'm not sure of that. Yeah, I'm confused on the headlines that have been seeing because on Friday, kind of sounded like the Chinese weren't budging and that a trade deal didn't look that hopeful. And now all of a sudden a trade deal is hopeful again. I suspect that the people going long or going risk on, let's say, people being risk on because of a trade deal are maybe taking that on pretty flimsy news support, like maybe they had a meeting, you go in and they talked about it and we're like, oh well, we need you to do this, and the Chinese go, oh well, okay, yeah, like we want a deal, so I'll talk to my people about doing this, and then they're going to come back and they're not going to be able to do it, or whatever the problem is. You know what I mean? How many times has that happened? And if that's why they're taking a risk on, that's not going to hold for very long. So we kind of almost have to just discount that particular driver right now, I think. Tick up again. Oh, okay, so that 22.5 is pulling. And they're hitting into 11 and a quarter in the 5-year. So this might be the opportunity we wanted. I'm wondering if I was not in right now, would I be willing to buy into 22 half? I think I would be tempted to, for sure. Okay. So ZB has been having a problem getting through 144 evens. If I see 144 evens go bid and they start taking out 01 and there's 1,000.01. By the way, the ZB is very thick. Yeah, so see they go bid, but they aren't holding a ton there. Six minutes to go till equities open. Oops. They're holding a stronger bid at 144 even. It's not going though in the 10-year. Not ready yet. Extra thick. Yeah. ZB is shaking her booty today for sure. She's been swinging around in a fairly decent range. It's actually the kind of action that I find very, very difficult in ZB. Because knowing me, if I can show you here on this chart, I would get in. I would be thinking, oh, it's going to go long. I would get in right here at 144 even. And then it would go all the way against me at 143.29. And then I would puke and, it would keep doing that to me. That's what always seems to happen to me in ZB. That's how she is. So Ace covered his trade and never went. Oh no, wait. They did tick down a little bit there, though. Yeah. So a little bit of a downtick in the E-mini. A little bit more buying pressure in Treasuries because of that. But nothing too huge. Yeah. Trader warns markets are extrapolating the good news well beyond the current fact set. I totally agree with that kind of an assessment. Like, last week was a good week, wasn't it? There was a lot of good news last week, and it definitely moved the Treasuries, came down significantly. E-mini has been overall moving up. We're higher than we were last week. But is there enough good news out there to support the idea that everything is fine and that the rest of the year is just going to be great? It's not. It's all we've done is just proven that the world's not falling apart yet. Like all we've proven is that December was a fluke and that they were wrong. The world's not falling apart. Everything is relatively stable and holding. That's it. And some people are trading this like, get it on. 2 minutes to cash opening, yes. Euro USD stalls the fall at the 50% midpoint, but sellers still in control. Interesting. So I think that here on the equities open, it might tick around a lot. So if I can get filled here, I think I want to, so that I can avoid some of the crazy. Okay, so the initial impulse was a buy. It was a little bit of a stoppy move. Well, darn. Did we get news there? What was that? No, I don't see it at least. We did get a thing. Remains gradual if not glacial, but bonds continue to set the bar and have now extended their recovery from the Eurex lows to 165.62. This means another minor interim upside chart objective has been ticked off. Blah, 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 blah. Gilts are still struggling to keep pace, but have crept up back above par, and U.S. Treasuries are just off fresh peaks. But the curve still flatter amidst talk of a block seller of 10-year futures versus ultras and two-way flow elsewhere. Turning to currencies, the dollar has dipped again with the index back near a fib that provided some resistance on the way up to 96. Okay. Block seller of 10-year futures versus ultras. Really? So a spread trade between ZN and TN? Curious. Okay, well, that was a really big buying impulse in the E-mini, and it's coming back. Somebody just wanted to buy on the week, I guess. Let's see if they can push it against him or not. Yeah, Ace says long S&P. The 5-year seemed to react to that downtick. Okay, they're just ranging back and forth at 11 again, which is right where we were. Everything essentially back to where it was. I guess since we didn't get this, we can't have to. Another down tick. Not very encouraging. Oh, okay, he's picked up a point on that. That's interesting. He's already done, huh? Yeah, they're kind of in a spot in the E-mini where it's going to be really, really hard for them to keep moving up. For sure. So they're having trouble. Like the 10-year is now at the open. Ace says if I were to trade again, I would go short here in the E-mini. Well, that's an awfully big flag. It's rare you see one like that in the E-mini like that. That's a little weird. I don't know if that's a sell signal though. Well, that's no good. Set my stop limit wrong because it took me out at 20 half. Oh, what's the normal volume in the ZN? I don't know. I'm really disappointed that my stop took me out at 20 half. Like, that's not cool. Interest rate futures liquidity rate. Yeah. ISM at the top of the hour. Yeah, my market analyzer, my data provider doesn't provide the data that it wants to be able to show like average daily volume. So I have to write my own. Watch the webinar video John sends for the webinar this April. He sent a video. What exactly is that? Yeah, E-mini is moving up again. I need to change this to be more like... So now they're kind of doing this weird thing where the E-mini appears to be trying to make some sort of an impulse, and the Treasury order flow is not in line with it. If you purchase the webinar, he sends like 40 videos. Oh, okay. So you did sign up for the April one then, yeah? Oh, that's what you're saying. You signed up for April. Mm-hmm. Oh, those videos might just be like his basic and intermediate courses put together. I think when you get the webinar, he just gives you the whole package. You see that the E-mini is moving up, but the treasuries aren't budging yet. That's kind of a negative divergence in ES. Russia saying it is going to cut its output for oil. And oil is moving higher as a result. Later OST. Okay, so the E-mini looks to me like it's in a tough situation. They was a really strong buy move on the open, and they've been trying to make a new high, and they've been coming short. But I continue to see really strong buying. So even though typically you would think that that divergence would not work out, they may yet still make it. But if they don't, I think that that means that there's a really good setup short in the E-mini. They are not making new highs. That could totally, come back on them. The yen is kind of where you should see, well, close to where you would probably see support. Yeah, see the E-mini is still kind of towards the higher end of that range. I do see some buying in the 5-year too. Who is this? Are we talking about John? Why doesn't he just trade instead of pitching his stuff? Well, he does trade. He definitely trades. Let's just keep in mind though, like the way that we trade, if I'm having a good week, a good month, maybe I'm gonna make $400, and that's before you factor in commissions. So even if you have a big account, that's not exactly, like raking the money in. And if you can do a webinar, and how much is this webinar? I think this webinar is like $4,000, right? You do a $4,000 webinar with, like 30 people or something like that. I don't know. I probably doesn't quite get that quite that much. But that's like $10,000. That's nothing to scoff at. Even if you are trading and you're successful. And he's just trading anyways and just letting people trade during a time of year that he knows tends to lead to good action for him. And he wants to give back. Yeah, I think that John feels like that the retail traders don't get the full picture, and he's trying to give it to them. Or, like, from a perspective that most people don't have, that is hard to get nowadays. When I was a mortgage broker, one thing I learned is you make money selling shit to people pertaining to the thing that they're doing than you do by doing the thing they're doing. Oh, you tend to, yeah. I think I think as a general rule, that probably is true. Well, let me rephrase that. It's easier to make money selling things to people pertaining to the thing that they're doing rather than the thing that they're doing. Right? Trading is super hard. If you're good at it and you're like part of that 1%, then obviously you're going to be way too busy to be bothering with that sort of thing. But the problem is that 1% is a very, very select group of people. And they're probably not retail traders. Right? They are massively short ES now. That's a lot of selling, guys. Almost 6,000 contracts short in the E-mini. fucking $750 back, then to put in an ad in a phone book and no one opens. Huh. Okay, the big offer there at 81 half. Or sorry, 18, 15, 25. Okay, tick back up, it pulled. Ah, sweet, short sweep now. This is gonna explode to the downside here, I think. They definitely appear to have caught somebody. And you can see Treasuries finally reacting to it too. Yeah, there you go. Okay, so there's some lows. Not barely even an uptick. I truly believe John is one of the few educators out there that one trades live and two practices what he preaches. Yeah. I believe so too. I've never seen his trading statements before though. That's the key. And the thing is I think he does trade for a living, but I don't think that he's making, that he's, a billionaire doing it, right? He's doing well enough that he can live off of his trading, but not so well that a $10,000 windfall twice a year isn't worth it. I don't know his true reasons to teach what he knows. All I care is to not be scammed. I've seen him trading and know what he's doing, so that's fine by me. Yeah, totally. Right, like the big thing with the No BS webinar is what you're getting when you sign up for it, and you get exactly what you signed up for. You'll get the opportunity to talk to him, ask any questions that you want, and watch all of his trading, like literally the whole session, the whole day, for 2 weeks. Is totally worth the money. Compared to some other trading courses that are even more, it is a good value. And honestly, he shows his DOM. He shows you exactly what you see right now. Almost exactly. He has, he doesn't have all of this crap. He just has his DOMs up. But yeah. I haven't taken the webinar myself, but I have been shown videos that some members in our room recorded, and I watched a session of it. And yeah, he does exactly what I do. Or we should say, I do exactly what he does, because it seems to me that even though he makes some of the same mistakes, one of the things that was really comforting to me was I was watching the webinar and he made kind of some of the same mistakes that I did, but he was way better at it. It was like, there was many spots where he just said, I don't know what's going on here, or he would give reasons to stay out, way more than myself. Mm-hmm. Okay, so they made a pretty decent sell there, and I am seeing moves in the currencies again on this move up in treasuries. The euro still looks pointed down. What happened to the chill out music? Well, I wanted to do it one day as an experiment to see if I could accomplish it from a technical perspective. The fuck? Okay, so we just got a downtick and a pretty big offer there at 21. Let's see what happens. That bid looks like it's pumping up. I think that they're going to take it out. Or it might pull. We'll see. Anyways, I wanted to see what it did and how people would react. And now today I came in and I thought about opening it up again. And I was like, I don't want to deal with that today. Because the problem is that I have to like go and like push the play button on it every 5 minutes, which was annoying. So I think that if I want to do the music, I need to refine it a little bit first before we really go into it. Like, I think I need to like have a playlist that is several hours worth of music that I can just set and forget, And right now I don't have that. It would take a long time to find enough royalty-free music that matches too. Do you want your own courses later than coach or not? I mean, look, it's an interesting thought. It's just my focus right now is still just on becoming consistently profitable myself, Like in my head, it would be kind of silly to go and provide education if I wasn't profitable myself, I guess. And like I have periods of profitability, but overall on my live trades in ZN are not profitable. It was negative for the year. So how much should I make my course? 2 points a day with Ace. 1 million because you're the best. I mean, it's maybe worth $1 million. The other Ace might still try. So tell me, how bad is the bird in the background today? Is it better or worse than normal? I would expect that it would be a little bit worse than normal, yeah? So I'm not using a... they're so loud. I'm not using a noise gate like I normally do. I'm just using downward compression. It's nice. I mean, it sounds a little bit better. You don't get like the hard cut at the end of my sentences, but that you probably can hear them in the background a little bit more, huh? Gosh, see, this is not that 7K now at 21. Now that it's held. He's watching. You're not even gonna get 21.5, Seth. Yeah. Well, that's it for me. Because this is definitely not doing it, so. E-mini really buying there again. So it kind of looks like a meat grinder now. I suppose if I got like this, but otherwise. From experience, most people who start streaming on YouTube will always sell something later. I fantasize about building you a soundproof room. Well, the thing is that I put. Hold on. Oh, that's right. Construction spending. I forgot about that. An ISM, right? So, ISM is tomorrow. Sorry, it's not ISM. It's PMI tomorrow. Construction spending month over month forecast 0.2. They might hold it at 20 now. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, here's the thing. I've taken this long and lost 3 times now. Each time, like, getting stopped out and almost immediately thinking, oh, here it's going to hold, and trying to take it. They're not even giving me, like, barely even an uptick. So it was negative 0.6 versus a 0.2. That's a pretty bad. Yep. What was I saying? Anyways, I did some things to the room to try and make it a little bit more soundproof. But it's the fucking door. and the sound just comes straight through. And so it's like literally like they're here in the room. I need to get a better door. And I've found some. I found one online. It's like a sliding. It's like a double sliding glass door. And that's what I want to do. That should cut down the noise significantly. Anyways, the only other thing that I could do would be to like be downstairs or something, which I suppose is a possibility, but not sure construction spending can make them change their mind. I don't know. Anyways, what was I going to say? Less bird action? Well, see, as soon as they feed them, then they usually shut up. They have a good squawk, a good morning, they get a peanut, and then they're usually like, oh, he has a peanut. I'm just going to sit and eat this peanut now. Back in the day, I built a soundproof room for a local celebrity. Oh, wow. Yeah, I mean, the only thing that I really did was like double sheetrock on this wall back here. So I thought that on this wall it wouldn't have mattered or made a difference, and it was too hard with the paneling and everything. They had already done it. But I should have put double sheetrock on that wall too. But the door is just, it's I have double doors, right? You can see. I'll show you. Can you see that? Well, look, I got triggered long. See, I got double doors like that. And the bottom of that is just completely open. So of course the sound comes right in. So if I got a door kit, that would probably make a difference. But even then, I think that, with the glass and all that sort of a thing, it would be if I can get this double door solution though with this acoustic glass and everything, I think that would cut down the noise a lot. Selling is not bad when you can trade, is also good for bad days, but most cannot trade. They prefer to sell. Yeah, I don't know. I just, the thing is that, I have a day job that's pretty good. I don't expect that my day job will last forever. At some point, I'm going to need to move to a different company, I think. just to, to be able to continue moving up and to continue to progress and everything. But right now, I don't want to leave them right away just because they got problems they need fixed and I feel like they need me. But I can work pretty much anywhere that I want. So I don't necessarily have some dire need to sell some big expensive course. You know what I mean? Now I can get on YouTube, and to me, I'm just much more interested in the community, because like it bothers me that there are communities out there, but that they charge you like $60 to be a part, $60 a month to be a part of them. I think that's just stupid. Like I kind of want that thing in the community to go away, because I feel like that if the traders waste money on anything, more money is wasted on trading rooms than anything else, I think. Because you do education, that money is maybe not entirely wasted, right? But sometimes the trading rooms, it's like you're paying money for somebody that you're supposed to be like shadowing or something like that. I don't think that it works that way. You need to have somebody that he'll tell you how he trades, but he's also trying to help you work on your strategy and something that works for you. Do not go into trading businesses. It's very hard if you're not ready to lose everything. I mean, the probability is just based on raw numbers of the number of people that are successful with this, is that this will probably always be a part-time hobby. And you know what? Like, that's okay, because I don't really see very good action after 9:30 anyways. So well, they were able to break through the 21 enough to trigger me long, but then they're not being too encouraging at 20.5. It's been down here for a long time though. Actually long enough that I think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We might get the zipper set up here. But it would be at 20.5, not 21. Anyways, the other thing is, you guys got to remember that the way that I'm going to make my fortune is with garlic coin, right? It's all about the garlic coin, guys. I have almost reached my mining target. I think by the end of this week I will have reached the mining target. And then I will have mined a whole $30 worth of garlic coin. And then we can start doing some fun things with it. I'll probably still mine it, but then like we could like do free giveaways and like, anything that I can do to increase the amount of commerce in garlic coin. Because that's how we get rich, right? As people start using it, increases the value of it. More people want to buy it. Makes it worth more. If we could get garlic coin back to $1, like that would be great. It'd be amazing if we could get garlic coin back to $1. All right. And in the long term, if it gets used, which is very questionable, very questionable, right? And there's another crypto bubble, which we don't really know. And it happens far enough in the future that the supply has been constrained and there's been a halvening and all of that sort of stuff. We could totally get to $70 in garlic coin, right? And then it's worth $1 million. The mining game is over. Well, it seems to me that the problem happening in the crypto space is that Bitcoin Bitcoin has been taken over by a group of developers that don't know what they're doing. That's really the long and short of it. So they have this plan for Bitcoin that doesn't make economic sense. It doesn't fall in line with how cryptocurrencies hold value. And so because of that, Bitcoin is worth less now than it was a year ago. It is simply worth less than it was a year ago. Like pre-bubble, it's starting to become worth less, right? And so in order for there to be another crypto bubble, I'm really starting to feel that it may be necessary for there to be a flippening or something of that nature. But we'll see. It always surprises us, right? If there's going to be another run, it's going to be a long time. Crypto bubbles would be more effective if it targeted boomers, millennials too poor on average to dump money into that shit. Crypto needs boomer money for quality pump and dumps. I mean, you have a good point there. So, to me, I think that it is very disappointing that the first experience that most would-be traders and investors of the millennial age group, it was cryptocurrencies, which was essentially, a bubble. Shouldn't be like that. You know what I'm saying? Would require a 401k approach to raise Bitcoin. Well, I think that there's something to be said that if they can ever get an ETF approved, that would make a big difference. But I don't think that that's happening anytime soon. And even if there was an ETF, I think that it would require something more in Bitcoin, because the problem is still that people aren't using the blockchain. It's just they use it less. Like the people that want to actually use Bitcoin, the people that want to actually do stuff with it, they've moved on to Bitcoin Cash. Totally 100%. That's why Bitcoin is having the problems that it does, because there's so little blockchain support that anytime that somebody tries to make it to pump, they basically get everybody to go in long and then they stall out almost immediately. They need more blockchain activity. Okay, well, the E-mini is going lower. They might go for the low of the overnight session here. Pretty likely at this point, I would think. Didn't quite do it that time. Every dork today mine its own currency that has no future. Everyone tries with crypto pump and dumps, nothing more and more. Nobody believes in it anymore. Sure. Well, and after a year, 2 years after the Mt. Gox crash, did people believe in it? No. Because the problem is that people only believe in it because it goes up. If it's not trending, if it's not in a bull trend, then nobody cares. So to get another bubble, you have to at least have some sort of a bull trend, right? So how can you get a bull trend going in Bitcoin? Well, it has to be oversold, right? It has to be, well, okay, so there was some stops there. I liked that. They did break a new low there in the E-mini. Anyways, it has to be oversold, right? Well, to get to oversold, we would have to move down to like 1500, right? And the problem is that there's these people that all seem to, you say that nobody believes it, but there's these people out there that keep buying and pumping it well beyond what it's worth, right? So those people basically have to give up. We move down to 1500, and then people really won't care about it. And then maybe you could get another bull market in cryptocurrencies. But at that point, again, you would have to consider that it might not be Bitcoin, because Ripple has been doing pretty well, and man, they sure pump Ripple. You want to talk about pump and dumps Ripple. I can't see the value on Ripple, but man, it sure moves up, right? So we got a good tick up there, and then they came back a tick, and they're kind of making me think that that's all that they're going to give. Well, it's 8:15. We'll see. Put the mining to a real problem, not number breaking. I have seen some cryptocurrencies that do like folding at home, or they harness the computations for solving real problems, like curing cancer. But yeah. Only the poor believe in it. The lucky night, they do not want to see it. Without Wall Street gold, and there's nothing going on. Yeah, well, I mean, got to remember the whole point here is that we want it to be dead, right? I don't think it's quite dead yet. There's like, what you say that, but I that's not what I seem to see in the price action. The price action to me seems like there is still somebody really interested in manipulating it long. That they're trying to create a bull market, and they can't do it because it's just not, they don't understand why it does what it does. They don't understand value, essentially. They don't understand how to value Bitcoin, and so they can't create the bull run that they're trying to make. That's what I think is happening. If it goes down, and I think that we should have at least one more big sell. We had a decent sell this morning. See, they're at 37.05, but it's not. Doesn't look like it's a huge deal. But it should. I think that it should take another sweep down, or maybe another 2 or 3 sweeps down, depending on just how much they fight it. You know. In the end, the only bags will be full, which have been around for a long time. Everyone else will just run after and drink. Well, let's see. But I mean, the assertion is the bull market is not over, and we don't know if there's going to be another crypto bull run. But I think that it's worth taking a shot at it, because the technology hasn't completely matured, right? So I think that there is a really good chance that there will be another crypto bull run. I'm just not so sure that Bitcoin is going to be the one that's going to lead it, if that makes sense. When we had that buy, it was a pretty big buy in ZB. Anyways, if I was a person to like, it really feels to me like there's like some whale out there that really wants to buy it. And he probably makes a little bit of money when he pumps it up like that, but he's not getting what he wants. He's not getting what he wants. That whale his time would be better spent investing in applications that use the blockchain. This theory, this store of value theory that they have in the Bitcoin core community is total nonsense. There is no reason for a security to be a store of value if nobody uses that actual security. You can't just trade it. There has to be a use for it. And if Bitcoin itself is too difficult to actually use for real transactions, and right now I would say that is the case, retailers have actually dropped it, right? There was all these places online you could buy stuff with Bitcoin and stuff, and now you can't do it. You can't buy games on Steam with Bitcoin anymore, for instance. Can with Bitcoin Cash, right? There's no reason. If nobody's using it, then its price is limited by the number of participants in the market. And we can look at the actual use and everything to determine how many of those there are. And so my math says that the highest they can get before everybody is long and they have to liquidate is around 4,300. It's that Super Heart Foundation guy buying billions in Bitcoin, right? But then that requires using a flawed or disregarded technology to try and build a successful business. Well, I think that Bitcoin Cash, they're doing new things. They have solved already many of the problems that Bitcoin had. You can do instant transactions. It's still cheap. They've increased the block size. Now, there's an argument to be had that at some point it gets really big and you need to, you can't just make the blocks bigger. But some of the math and examples that I've seen indicate that it'd be very, very long into the future before that would ever become a problem, if ever. So... And there are other technologies aside from Bitcoin that have just like completely outright solved the problems. Ripple is faster. And then there's these ones that aren't even mining based, like what did they rename Ryblocks to? I forget. Anyways, you know. There's that network one where when you want to do a transaction, you have to do a little calculation, and that's how they do it instead of wasting power. And then there's all these ones that are based on trying to eliminate the need to mine so that we're not wasting so much power mining. Yeah. I don't see a reason for the next crypto bull run to be Bitcoin other than that Bitcoin has the name recognition and the people pumping it, and it goes, you know. The name is worth a lot, that's for sure. But back to garlic coin. The point is to make a fortune buying the shittiest of shit coins, right? Garlic coin truly is the shittiest of shitcoins. Bitcoin was a project of the economy and elite. Prove that. You don't know that. Nothing more. Cash is a very big problem in the world right now. As more circulates, it's hard to control. Well, yeah, I mean, how do you prove Prove that it was this person or that person or whatever. Nobody knows who Satoshi really was. I keep seeing people saying that it was like the CIA made it. So it's like, prove it. They don't know that. There's no way for us to know that information. Anyways, someday I do think there probably will be another crypto bull run. And then when it happens, we'll see what the shitcoins do, right? If it was a government project, it would have ceased when the White House closed. Yeah, I mean, that's a good point. If it was like a secret government project and Donald Trump found out that that's what they were doing, he probably would have put a stop to it. Nah, I don't think that that was it at all, guys. I think he had two things happened. The first thing that happened was Ethereum. So Ethereum created a new use case for the blockchain where you could program your own coin. And so then all of these people decided to do ICOs, initial coin offerings. And so we had a huge fake market, basically based on people investing into initial coin offerings, which was crazy and ridiculous. But Ethereum was its rise going up into like when you look at that year, going into the summer, it was okay. That was like, okay, yeah, Ethereum is worth something. And then it got pumped a little bit because of all this stuff, right? And then we came back because reality was setting in and the move had happened. And then the Bitcoin futures came along. And so we got pumped up again from the Bitcoin futures. And that is all that caused it, right? That is it. And then there was the fork that also was a driver of some of that action. This is a fork. All right, well. Good deal. Oh, I'm gonna have to. It's coming close to the end of my time, and none of these have worked out. And there was a block sell on my price, and I've barely ever even gotten a tick upwards. Says that at one point it was MFU2. It's just all the government employees would have to pull funds when they were not getting paychecks, is what I was thinking. That's so funny too. Well, I mean, the Bitcoin is its own. It could have been started by the government and then they just let it run. I mean, that can totally be a thing. I think though definitely there was some people that had Bitcoin for a long time and they sold up at the top and they just ran away with the money for sure. Totally exactly what happened. You just look at the chart, there was some people that liquidated up there at the top and they made money. And he just ran off with all of it. Okay. Well, today was a pretty shitty day. I don't know. When you look at the chart, pretty much just kept going down. It's just actually quite unusual to do it like that. I really thought that at the very least that we were going to come down to here and then we were going to rotate back up and we could rotate back and forth there. But instead they came all the way down. So I don't know why the dealers seem to want to be so intent on selling it, but that's the first time I've heard that. If I hear that again, I will probably say, maybe I should not be buying. Yeah, look at the E-mini, they're buying it. And they're making a good recovery there. But anyways, I have a point and I keep like wanting to get to it and then I get distracted. Okay. There are documentaries online about how governments use the SWIFT system as a weapon. So here was the point. The point is that a cryptocurrency is derived from people using it. There's no reason for anybody to buy it, for anybody to pay money for a cryptocurrency token if they can't give that token to somebody else later on down the line. That's what the whole thing is based on. And if people aren't using it for commerce, then there's no reason to do that. Ergo, the price of Bitcoin is limited by the fundamental underlying value, which is the transactions. Right? Transactions that you get on average over a certain period of time, that tells you, how many people are in the market that are like always there and can provide support, right? And if you get more than 100 times that, or whatever it is, then you essentially have a situation where everybody that is interested in cryptocurrencies at this current time are long and will have to sell. I think Iran was using it to bypass sanctions. Perhaps. I'm sure that some countries did use it to do things. I mean, Venezuela was trying to use it, right? But it didn't seem like that worked out too well for them, did it? E-mini kind of saying maybe they're going to go down again. Anyways, we are not getting to an oversold condition. We aren't getting to a place where cryptocurrency, based on the amount of transactions that are actually going through, that it's worth it to buy. And because of that, you can't get a reversal. It's going to continue to sell. But if they ever let it happen, it might take a long time, but if it ever happens, you could get another bull market. And you could see other cryptocurrencies take the lead and new use cases, and maybe an ETF, maybe a country starting to use it, or a country starting their own cryptocurrency, right? Could be another good run in it. And so to prove this theory out, we're going to use the shittiest of shitcoins. Okay, Garlic coin was a shitty coin with a shitty premise that garlic is funny. Garlic is not funny. It is a dumb meme. Okay, but they got a ton of people on Reddit for it. Okay, so it is truly the shittiest of shitcoins, right? So if we can take the shittiest of shitcoins and get people to start using it, generate fundamental value through use. And we can use that, how cheap it is right now, to get other people involved in it, right? So we can do something where, like, okay, we get on here and you guys all give me a garlic coin address and I will give you guys some garlic, and then we could like do bets with it, you know, or we can tip each other with it, right? Transacting the garlic, and that'll get other people interested. They'll say, oh, well, I would like to do that because I would like some free garlic coin, right? And then because those people are involved, then somebody else might say, well, I'm willing to buy like $10 worth of Bitcoin garlic coin, so that I can use it to tip people, or so that I can use it to make bets or to buy something, right? And now there's transactions. Now there's a reason for people to buy garlic coin, even though it's the shittiest of shit coins. You build this thing, and eventually, all of a sudden, because there aren't very many garlic coins, there's only 69 million of them that will ever exist, then it will be worth a lot, because there's enough people using it and there's not very many of them. It's going to be worth a lot. That's the whole experiment. That's the proof. To keep Ethereum, keep the Ripple, keep the Bitcoin, you'll see what happens. They will all go to zero. Probably not. Maybe someday. Maybe someday. I think that at some, well, they'll never go to zero, but they'll be essentially worth zero to you, right? But right, generating demand, totally. I mean, we're totally generating demand, but that's how they did it in Bitcoin. That is kind of how it happened in the beginning. But that's kind of how trading kind of works, though, isn't it? Sometimes demand just generates more demand. You move up, it breaks a new high, and then that gets a bunch of other people to say, okay, maybe I can go long now. Every stop gets touched in the E-mini market 99% of the time. Yep. They're talking in the equities index channel. I think they're having one guy a little frustrated with equities. It's a bit of a meat grinder today. Yeah. Anyways, back to my trading though. Today was terrible. I think today was almost as terrible as Monday was good, or Friday was good, isn't it? This last one at 21 probably shouldn't have done. And the thing that's so dumb about it is that I'm taking like 2 ticks and they're stopping them out every time, even if you go on the short side. So I suppose that part of it is that my strategy normally is not going to do very well in this kind of action. But, you know, I took this one on 2 contracts and I let this one go -3. I think that I should have taken that first one, should have sized down, and I really should have waited for more of a pullback than what I got. Wait for a pullback and then see if it can come back on me a little bit. So, a lesson learned. It's a lesson that I've learned before, but I guess I, didn't learn it well enough the first time. I had another thought. Oh yeah, we're talking about like when somebody gets on YouTube, they're usually eventually want to sell something. I mean, I do have the Patreon, right? So if you go to the Patreon, I post cryptocurrency charts every day, which, by the way, I should go and generate. And that to me is like the thank you for watching and for contributing. And I don't want to just be taking a handout. So here's the one thing that oops, that's wrong. Here's the one thing that I can give you, which is my cryptocurrency chart. And it has had a very, very good historical track record. If Bitcoin is going to go down to zero, then it's just going to continue to say that we're overbought. That's what's going to happen. But it will tell us. So, and you know, the videos do have ads in them, although it's not anything to speak about. But it would be nice if like like I do those political analysis videos and stuff. It would be nice if those picked up. And I had a lot of comments last week. By the way, I had one go live this morning, so you can go and check that out after this. But you know, if I could, I'm been over 1,000 subscribers. If I could get to 2,000 subscribers, that would be really good. And that, like that, and kind of in my mind is kind of when I think about, aside from trading, that's kind of what I focus on. Is okay, what can I do to make the community better? What can I do to bring in more people or to be more useful to them, or you know, that sort of a thing. But in terms of trading education, I'm just, I don't think so. Coaching maybe, because I think that just from talking to you guys, I do feel like I might have an okay job at being able to tell people, okay, like I'm looking at your stats and this is what I see and this is what I think you should try doing. I don't know if at this particular time that people would really be interested in paying for that. But it's just not their main objective is still get better at trading. Get better at trading. Well, I wonder how do I know that the dealers are going to take it and just push it down like that? So it's like the demand comes out of nowhere and then disappears out of nowhere. Makes no sense to me. Well, let's see what happens tomorrow, but a day like today is no good, right? Can only handle so many days like that. And this might be, because we've got non-farms on Friday, might continue to be like that this week. So let's keep that in mind and try and stick with the liquidity when the liquidity is winning. Dum, bum, bum, ba-dum. Did you try a new strategy? No, I just did my normal thing, but I don't think that I made a sizing mistake. I continue to make sizing mistakes. So I don't understand when I should be using 2 and when I'm not. I think I kind of do it as like, it seems like I got some support and it's good. I can take a second contract and then it never goes, I'm not sure I understand when I should be using 2 and when I shouldn't be. I think I need to rethink that framework. Because I've been getting a lot of when I'm doing really well, I'm only taking 1 contract, and when I'm doing poorly, I'm taking 2 contracts. Maybe it needs to be if I got a winner, then I can size up. If I got a loser, then I have to size down. So if I lost 1, then I can only take a 1 lot or something like that. But no. Okay. Anyways, I should get going. I don't think I have anything else to say, but thank you guys for sticking around. Lots of viewers today. I'm sorry that it was not a very good day, but there are many days left in the world. So I will catch you guys tomorrow. And in the meantime, stay profitable.